Oh, hey guys! Hey! At the end of the last episode, I said the episode we're taking a look at today used to scare the crap out of me as a kid. You're about to find out why. ReBoot! The episode opens up inside Dot's diner with Bob and Enzo dragging her off for a picnic because she's a bit of a workaholic. We then cut to just outside of Los Angeles, the home of everyone's favorite psychotic virus Hexadecimal, where Megabyte begins to gloat to Hack and Slash about how he stole this ultimate weapon she'd been working on, known as the Madusa. Wrong Madusa! Unfortunately for them, Hex quickly comes after them and demands they give the weapon back. Megabyte responds by telling her to shove it, and Hex takes this news rather well.
Very, very sad. I'll have to destroy you all then.
She then proceeds to sick an army of nulls on them, but Hack and Slash easily stop them by removing a chunk of the bridge between Mainframe and Los Angeles, causing the nulls to fall to their death. Hex then declares that she will destroy them herself, but Megabyte simply orders his viral binome troops to take care of her and heads back to the tour. Long story short, it doesn't end well for the troops. We then cut to the inside of the tour, where Megabyte's only surviving soldier explains how Hex quickly got bored and left. Appeased, Megabyte then gloats about how easily he'd been able to steal the Madusa. Could you please stop doing that? Thank you. He then proceeds to open up the weapon to reveal that it was in fact a viral bug that begins to turn him to stone. Oh gee. I wonder if that was why they called it the Madusa. Could you just give me a second? Now, where was I? Megabyte tries to find a cure, but is interrupted by Hexadecimal, who proceeds to gloat about how she outsmarted him as he and the rest of the tour turn to stone. Hex then drops some exposition about how the Madusa will continue to spread until it has infected all of Mainframe. We then cut to just outside the diner where Bob fixes his car while Dot relaxes when our heroes suddenly notice Frisket being chased by the Madusa. God damn it! Unfortunately, the bug corners Frisket and quickly turns our favorite digital doggy to stone, much to the horror of Enzo. And we come to the first reason this episode used to scare me as a kid. Growing up, Enzo and Frisket were probably two of my three favorite characters on the show. To see one of the characters succumbing to the bug, it really bothered me at the time, and the scene still gives me chills to this very day. Despite Enzo's protest, our heroes decide to escape, fooling around with their car won't start when danger's near trope for a few seconds, before flying off to the principal office. Fong explains the bug to our heroes, but also tells Bob that his Guardian Code may give him immunity from its effects. They quickly deduce that Hexadecimal is behind the bug, and then Fong drops a bomb on just how dangerous this thing can be.
Worse yet, children, is that the longer one is infected, the sooner they begin to decay. See here, low energy goes first, like this sign. But then, high energy goes next.
High energy. Sprites like us. And Frisket!
Realizing just how catastrophic the effects could be, Fong orders everyone in Mainframe to evacuate to the principal office in hopes that the shields could offer some kind of protection. He then takes Bob to get some equipment to try and fight off or even remove the bug. Unfortunately, because Mainframe is such a small system with nowhere near the resources of the supercomputer where Bob's from, all Fong can offer is a viral erase command. Bob uses an add-on to beef up the command and goes to try and stop the Madusa in its tracks. Long story short, it doesn't.
My poor Madusa.
With their last hope failing miserably, the rest of the Mainframers manage to make it into the principal office and they raise the shields just in time, hoping they'll be able to hold the bug back. And they do. For about 3 seconds. And it's here where we come to the second reason this episode used to scare me as a kid. Those last few seconds of the baby Bino dropping the Guardian Bob Teddy and the horrified looks on the now frozen Mainframers gave me nightmares for weeks when I was a kid. Especially since this was the first time I'd ever seen one, let alone 2 children have something this devastating happen to them on a kids show. I was 2 years old when this episode first came out, and my earliest memory of watching it was when I was 5 or 6. And it was one of only 2 episodes that almost turned me and my parents off of watching the show. Hell, I'm 23 now, and this scene still creeps me out. So after that bit of nightmare fuel, we learn that Bob is in fact immune to the bug, and he decides to fly off to Lost Angles to force Hex to reverse the effects. We then cut to reason number 3 as to why this episode scared me as a kid. Hexadecimal using the stone Mainframers as decorations for her lair.
How do you like my new garden, Scuzzy? It holds up so much better than some of my earlier members. Well, for now at least.
And it's also revealed that her pet Scuzzy had been affected by the bug as well. Bob arrives and confronts Hex, which leads to a creepy scene of her controlling the Guardian Teddy, which Bob had hurled at her as a distraction. Hex then lunges at Bob, catching him as he tries to jump out of the way, and declares she plans to erase the Guardian once and for all. Luckily, Bob manages to save himself by thanking her for making Mainframe less chaotic, a concept that terrifies Hex. Just to give some clarification for both the uninitiated and those who haven't seen my review of episode 2, Racing the Clock, which you can watch right now on peanutbutterdisaster.com and YouTube, Hexadecimal thrives on disorder and pandemonium, earning her the nickname the Queen of Chaos. To tell her that a program of her creation has taken that away would be alarming, to say the least. So, realizing what she'd done, Hex reverses the Madusa's effect, and the episode ends with our heroes enjoying another picnic, when suddenly...
Warning, incoming K. Warning, incoming K.
So that was the Madusa bug, and dear lord was it amazing! While the ending is a bit of a cop-out with how easily Hexadecimal was able to reverse the Madusa's effect, the writing was pretty damn amazing all the way through, and it cranks the tension right up to 11 the moment Megabyte activates that bug. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that despite this episode scarring me for life as a kid, it's probably one of, if not my favorite episodes of the season, and it definitely lands within my top 5 favorite episodes of the series. Both of which are statements I cannot say about the next episode, the TIFF. But I'll get to that next time. Until then, I'm KiraKennedy. ReBoot. Hey guys, KiraKennedy here. Just want to thank you guys for watching the episode, and I really hope you enjoy it. If you did or didn't, either way, please leave a comment below and tell me what you thought. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I am on Twitter at KiraKennedyHNR, Tumblr at KiraKennedyHNR.tumblr.com, and I just recently started my own Facebook page, Facebook.com/KiraKennedyReviews. And if you guys want to check out any of my past episodes, you can do so at peanutbutterdisaster.com. And while you're there, why not check out one of my fellow critics, Michael Keane, who also takes a look at a classic TV show from the 90s, The Flash. Until then, I'm KiraKennedy, and I'll see you next time.
Peanut butter disaster.